we got it connected this time. I don't know. Quite sure my folks are going to check it out while we're doing this. So I don't know what we should move on or should we recap what we said. I don't know. I've never had this happen to us before, so.
A little technical difficulties. Maybe Ed, tell them the interest groups for today. That's important.
Okay, so the interest groups for today, we got two today. We got AI for beginners that starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and Pedro and Brittany will be showing everybody how to sign up for ChatGPT using your Windows machine or your iPhone, whichever one you prefer to use. But come in tonight, check that out. We will record that. It will be on audio.com tonight, lineunitedaudio.com. And then also the recording from the very first group class is also there already. So if you want to refresh yourself on what we discussed 2 weeks ago, you can go in there and check that out. Then we're going to take us a quick dinner break, if you will. And then we'll be back at 7 o'clock with Pedro, and he's going to be teaching everybody how to protect their personal information on their iPhone, how to change your settings around so that people ain't biting on what you got going on. So that will be at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So any word on what we got going on?
We're live on Facebook. Hey, how are you doing, everyone? We should be live on YouTube now, so we're good. We're back on. You got to play the music again, Mr. Davis. Come on, play the music. Hit my head in the microphone again.
Do we really need to do all that, or we can just move on? I mean, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties in the very, very beginning, but since we're live now, I'd just rather move forward.
So those who are just dropping in, you guys missed it. I was dancing, my fat ass dancing in the background, and I hit my head on the speaker. So you missed that. You missed funniest moment, or what is that? Funniest videos?
America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah, you missed that, guys. So.
United Funniest Videos.
Maybe we could do like a blooper thing of like the funniest coffee time things that have been said or done. Most of them George will be in.
Actually, me and Pedro was talking a little bit about that last night. You know, maybe creating some little clips, reels, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And by the way, we're live on the Blind United interest group page.
Okay.
So, hey, how you doing, everyone?
All right. Welcome, everybody. So, all right, Miss Brittany, and anyway, I got a couple small articles. I'm gonna get this one out the way, and then we can get into the second one, which is about 9 minutes. This one here is only a couple minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this one first. Let me get down there. I'm on my way.
So people, I gotta remind myself, people can see me, so not to poke my nose.
Yeah, George, make sure you have clothes on.
It'll be sweet and sour. Anyway.
All right, you guys are gonna like this one. It's a real short one, but it's something everybody needs to be aware of. I mean, it's kind of the same thing what Pedro was going to be talking about in his group tonight. So check this out.
LinkedIn is using your data to train Microsoft, OpenAI, and its own AI models. Here's how to turn it off. Yet another major tech company is training AI models with user data by default and not informing users first. Following in the footsteps of Meta and X's Grok, LinkedIn is opting users into training its AI, as well as models belonging to unnamed affiliates. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, which also owns a large chunk of ChatGPT developer OpenAI, meaning all three appear to be training their AI with information from the business-focused social network. LinkedIn had not responded to requests for comment at the time of publication. According to LinkedIn, the artificial intelligence models that LinkedIn uses to power generative AI features may be trained by LinkedIn or another provider. For example, some of our models are provided by Microsoft's Azure OpenAI service. Where LinkedIn trains generative AI models, we seek to minimize personal data in the data sets used to train the models, including by using privacy-enhancing technologies to redact or remove personal data from the training dataset. The platform added it is not training content-generating AI models on data from the EU, EA, or Switzerland. The EEA is the European Economic Area, which includes all 27 EU members and Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway. If you are in a country where LinkedIn has started using your data for AI training, it is easy to stop it. Go to the Data Privacy section in Settings and switch the Use My Data for Training Content Creation AI Models toggle to off. Privacy activists, though, remain alarmed by LinkedIn's decision to opt users into training multiple AI models. Mariano Deli Santi, legal and policy officer at UK-based privacy advocacy nonprofit The Open Rights Group, told Forbes, "The opt-out model proves once again to be wholly inadequate to protect our rights. The public cannot be expected to monitor and chase every single online company that decides to use our data to train AI. Opt-in consent is not only legally mandated, but a common sense requirement." He urged the UK privacy watchdog to take urgent action against LinkedIn and other companies that think they are above the law. Now back to the Coffee Time crew.
So on that note, I mean, I didn't realize that there was actually a law that they actually are supposed to get our permission to use our data like that. And I think it is, just
I think California was one of those pioneers for that, Mr. Davis, the privacy laws. And who uses LinkedIn anyway? So, but still,
no, LinkedIn is growing, dog. From when I first got on it, I mean, I do have an account. Am I active in there? No, I'm not. But now, I mean, they're actually really, really big. I mean, it's more, business oriented type of social media. But again, it's getting bigger and bigger. I mean, through this, I found out, okay, what? Number one is owned by Microsoft. What's that other little tidbit we got in there? Microsoft owns a piece of OpenAI?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, So, again, Microsoft, they got their fingers in a lot of stuff too. So, but again, I just think it's wrong. Again, they should. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all about training these AI models, right? But at the same time, at least let us know, give us the option to opt in or opt out, right? Especially when you're saying that it's by law that you're supposed to be doing that. So I don't know. Microsoft might be opening themselves up for, a class action thing or something. I don't know.
I know the EU was real strict on the privacy, like when they went after Google, and then, and that's why, to me, it's your phone, if you're on your phone, 5-10 minutes, 5 hours, 10 hours, just collecting data. I mean, we have to be realistic about that. Now, to what limits we give it, for example, when you go to a web page and it says you accept the cookies, at first I thought they were talking about chocolate chips. I'm like, hey, I'll tell my wife, hey, where are the chocolate chips? But the point is that, we have to understand that technology is going to be used, like we talked in the past, for good and bad, right? Especially with AI, either Apple intelligence or artificial intelligence. But the thing is that there has to be a give and take. Does that make sense? For example, if you're going to use a free product, now LinkedIn is free or is it paid?
No, it's free.
So us, the user, the end user, has to realize that if we're going to use Facebook or X or whatever, we have to give them for something that they're going to give us. So it's a give and take. But at the same time, what limits are there, right? Do we want them access to our, for example, what was it yesterday? I did an app, and it said full access to your photos. I forgot the app I was downloading. Not giving permission, limited permission to my photos, which, and I have nothing to hide. But the point is, it depends on to us what access we give them, right?
Right.
Again, to your point, Mr. Davis, let us know. Heads up, hey guys, I'm going to use your data. Are you good? Not okay. And, again, at the end of the day, we have that option. If you want to use that, like for example, Facebook, right? And then let's say it comes out that Facebook is using our data, which they have done in the past, anyways. I think that's why they changed it to
and
Meta.
they probably still are.
Yeah. So
to some extent, anyway.
To some extent, and that's what I'm saying. It's upon us to use it. If we don't want to use it, just download, uninstall it, and it is what it is. But if they use it to their benefit, where they could, capitalize on it,
Right.
that's where I see the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I think Google got in trouble for doing that. Well, first of all, they monopolize the whole search engine model, right? There's
Right.
Google. There's what's the other one? Isn't there
Uh,
one
uh,
called DuckDuck or something, or
what that other one? I know.
Dolphin? Is it, or I forgot what it's
No,
called.
I know when you use Edge, it goes to somewhere else.
A Bing, Bing, Bing,
Yeah, Bing,
Bing.
Bing, Bing.
But there's another one called DuckDuck something. I don't, do you know what I'm talking about? Barrett? I
Rick?
think it's called GoDuck or
Oh, Duck Duck Go.
yeah. There's another one, but so that's what I'm saying, folks. They're going to use our numbers, our for example, our data for their analytics. For example, 50 to 60. What are they watching? We're talking about that a little bit earlier before we got on air, right, Mike? Mr. Davis,
Right.
is that
Yeah.
50 to 60. What are they watching? 40 to 50. What are they watching? Who's clicking this? So I get that for advertising purposes, but still, it's just off a topic real fast. What really annoys me is companies get away with stuff like it's just my personal little soapbox here, so I apologize. My wife goes to Walmart at 6 in the morning, so she don't have to mess with the other people, and it's quieter environment. But I think between 6 and 8, you have to check out your own stuff, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna do the cashier's job, you should get some kind of benefit or discount, right?
Right. You don't get no discount for using the self checkout.
No, and that's the thing is that to me is like sometimes companies get away, or like we went to Taco Bell a week and a half ago, and now it's AI taking your orders. So I just feel that AI is going to creep into every part of our life. Even now with the new iOS 0.1 or 18.1 that going to be released next week or next month, I forgot, for Apple, folks. That's going to get into your information. So don't be surprised if if you see stuff on your Facebook or your X or your whatever social media that and I told Mr. Davis in Britain this one time. Me and my wife were talking about Lucky Charms, right? That's real specific, right? It's not like an everyday conversation. Sure enough, I go to work at my break. I look at my Facebook, and on my feed, guess what it is?
That's so
Lucky
funny
Charms.
because somebody named Kate in the comments, she said that whenever she's talking around her phone, she sees an advertisement for something like a couple of hours later. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh, Miss
Yeah.
Kay, hey, how you doing? I know what she's talking about. Hey, Miss Kay, how you doing? She's a good friend of ours. Me and my
Okay.
wife.
How you doing, Miss Kay? Welcome.
Yeah, she's a real big advocate for kids with autism. So,
Oh, thank you for advocating for kids with autism. They appreciate it. We appreciate it. We all have family members or loved ones who have it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Paul said, good morning. And George, it's really good to hear your voice.
are you saying that or Paul saying that?
And Paul's saying that it's
Oh,
really
no,
good
mate.
to hear your voice.
No,
Why
well,
would Brittany be happy to hear your voice, George?
no, well, later on when we get halfway, we get to the halfway mark, you're gonna hear down, down, down.
So, but yeah, I mean, no, again, I think they need to do more of a model like, I don't know if you're familiar with it, George. I think I told you about it. I know I told Britt the other day, like with Ira, they're now doing the Ira Explorer thing where they'll give you 10 free minutes an hour, right?
Okay.
To do an Ira call. And
Okay.
then at the end of the call, they give you the option to allow them to access the video and, the interaction, right? To train their AI.
So, well, for those who don't know, excuse me, who don't know what IRA is, there's different products that we use who are visually impaired. IRA allows you, I could be wrong, so please correct me. I haven't used or haven't looked into IRA for a bit. IRA is it's an application we use on our phone that helps us via our camera. Someone sighted will help us navigate to a store or to let's say we're looking for Coke or whatever, right? And is that a paid service right now, Mr. Davis, or free?
It is
Well,
a
that's
paid service.
Brittany
It's
knows
kind of
better.
pricey.
Okay.
To explain Ira better, it's kind of like OnStar for blind people,
There we
and
go.
we definitely pay a premium for it.
As long as you
I
don't
want
have
to say
a.
it's like $1 something a minute. Damn
Is it
there.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh
pretty
wow.
pricey.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you get what is it on the NFB plan? I think you get what is it, 30 minutes a month for $20 or something like
That's
that.
not too bad. That's not too
You
bad.
know, so
Yeah.
but with this new Explorer thing, again, you can opt into that, and then you can get 10 minutes an hour, right?
Okay.
And then again, it's about whether you want to, like if you did something where you were doing, you know, because they do have access, you know, they are bonded and all that good stuff, so you can expose your personal information to them, right? But let's say you're doing something where they were reading your credit card number or something like that, you can opt out of the thing for that call, so that
Okay. I see what you're
that
saying.
so that data does not go into the AI model.
And then and like I said, what did I just say earlier? There's a give and take, right?
Right,
If you want
right,
to use a product, whatever it is, it could be free or paid, but it's to you, the end user. If you want to say, okay, I'm gonna, for example, IRA, right? I need you to read my credit card number, but at the same time, don't record it, right?
right,
But we have that expectation that it's not going to be recorded, right? So we don't know if it's true or not, right? But we have to give them that expectation that, okay, you know what, I'm going to show you my credit card, but then later on, if you start getting charges on your on your card for
well, and that's why they are bonded, because if something like that happens,
mhm,
you can go there. I think they're insured for what, $10 million or something like that on that level.
mhm.
You know, so I mean, on that side of it, it's a great thing. I mean, again, you know, it's a great service if you can afford it, right? Because you can just say, okay, well, you know, I'm in San Bernardino and I want to go to Tito's Tacos in Culver City. It will literally plot out a route, right, and then send it to your Google Maps, right? And
Yeah.
then you can just open up Google Maps and it'll navigation, boom, you're on your way.
And then, by the way, yesterday I was trying it on the way home from one of my customers. I tried that Voice Vista.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of it. It's not that bad. It just it was close to
I got to
accurate.
start playing with it some more, because I really believe that Glide is going to have that in it. I
Oh, is
really
it?
do. Yeah, I
Okay.
really do believe so.
And
You
what it
know,
is,
but
folks, is Voice Vista. I think that's one. It's also owned by Microsoft, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So Voice Vista, folks. So what that does, and I'm going to show you since I'm on camera, my phone. So let's say I'm walking down the street and I can point it, and it'll talk to me. It'll tell me that there's a bus stop, there's a restaurant. If I ask it what's around me, um, it is pretty accurate. But like I
Right.
said, there's a give and take, right? So I'm assuming, I'm going the right way. At the same time, I don't take away from my skills, right? My orientation skills, because what happens, right? You might run into, or someone might run into you, or you might run into something else. But
Right.
what was that? And I'm going to talk about the technology part of this a little bit more, and I went blank, Mr.
Well,
Davis.
let me describe another feature as well. Let's just say, you know, you're going to, you know, an appointment, doctor's appointment, whatever the case may be, right? And, you know, being in our community, you may end up on Access trying to get there. Well, we all know that Access, you know, you might get there early, you might get there a little late, whatever the case may be. But hypothetically speaking, let's say you get there a little early, right? You can now open up that app and you can say, okay, what's around me? I got an hour to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a Starbucks, you know, a couple doors down. Let me go to Starbucks, give me a cup of coffee.
And that's why it's so cool that we're privileged people, those who are visually impaired or blind, excuse me, that we live in the era now that we have all this technology. Because like what, right, Ms. Bray and Mr. Davis, about 5,
Yes.
even 10 years ago, we're very limited. But now, like Mr. Davis, and this is one thing that Abel was impressed with both of you, Ms. Britt. He was impressed that you were able to get on the train, and come all the way down to LA. And that's not inspirational. It's not, what I'm trying to say,
Right,
folks,
right,
is technology,
right.
right? I mean,
Well, no, I
technology
mean,
enables
yeah,
us to do
no.
that.
I mean, we didn't use any tech, right, Britt? I mean, that's just something we do on a regular basis. I mean, if you want to use tech, what, Uber?
I mean, and the thing with AI, and Britt and Pedro's show interest group tonight is going to be at
I think that amazed him as well because, like when we first get there, of course, we don't know where we're at. We're in a brand new restaurant or whatever, right? So Pedro needed to go to the bathroom, and Brittany showed him where it was. And I don't know, Pedro got up 3-4 more times before we left the restaurant. Once he knew where the bathroom was, he just got up and took off.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
And the thing is like, for example, like one of my customers yesterday, I was showing him Be My Eyes, and he said, well, what happens if my wife writes something on the paper on the refrigerator before she goes to work? How can I see that? I'm like, all right, cool. So I asked my wife to write out something in cursive, right? In cursive, which is not even taught nowadays. People are like, it's cursive.
Right.
Is that a fruit? Not a fruit, folks. But she wrote it down. We took a picture of it, and and you could hear in his voice, like, wow, that's cool. And the thing is, those who are transitioning to blindness, I think it's important for them to understand all these technologies, right? Even us that are blind, right? To understand that, you know what, we don't have to be dependent. We could be independent and use those tools. I mean, heck, you have an iPhone, you're having $900 to a $1,400 tool. Use it, right?
Right.
Now with AI, even better. Tonight, Miss Britt, what time is the class at? 5 or 6? 6 my time, right?
For the AI class, yeah.
And then the
I'm
technology
sorry.
at 7.
I know you asked Brittany, but I know she's
She's
probably
ignoring
bouncing
me.
around.
That's fine. I'm
You
used
there,
to being
Britt?
ignored.
Or did she get popped out?
She might have got knocked out. Mama says knock you out.
So, but anyway, and then that's going to be a good one. But again, because of what we're talking about right here, remember what Pedro's group is going to be about tonight. It's going to be about securing those settings, right? Knowing where those settings are to go in there and block these various applications and whatnot from getting your data.
True.
So you need to check that out. And I'm going to go here. This is George's favorite commercial right here. So we're going to get this out the way. We're at the bottom of the hour, so we'll be right back.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
You are cordially invited to Blind United's Spooky Evening on Saturday, October 26th, 2024, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Veteran Foreign War Post 2070, VFW, 825 South Magnolia Avenue, Monrovia, California, 91016. Cross Street is Chestnut. Come and enjoy a fun, spooky evening with games, a costume contest, and Halloween treats with friends and family. 825 South Magnolia Avenue. Cost per adult $25, children $5 to $13, $15, children 4 and under free. The meal will include hot links and a grilled chicken sandwich, chips, potato salad, soda, water, and cupcakes. A cash bar will be available. Door prize drawings will be held throughout the event. Deadline to turn in money is Thursday, October 10th, 2024. You can sell your money to Blind United Incorporated at blindunited2022@gmail.com. All children must be accompanied by an adult to the restroom. For more information, you may contact F.A. Chandra Howard at 909-774-6290 or Cheryl Thurston at 909-821-9589.
So let me clear up one thing, because people have been asking me this quite a bit. You hear in that commercial where it says that children must be escorted to the bathroom.
I was just about to ask you that.
Okay, so we're using a VFW post. You know what that is, George? I know you
The
do.
Veterans of Foreign Affairs? Yes, sir.
Foreign Wars. foreign wars, George.
Wars, WARS.
Oh, no,
I know, I'm just messing with you. Okay.
right, I know you are. You're throwing me off this morning, but it's all good. But anyway, the bathroom is in the bar, and they
Oh,
don't
okay.
serve food, so therefore children are not necessarily allowed in the bar.
Okay.
But
That makes sense.
we did clarify with them that, because we're using their banquet room, right? And that's the only bathroom in the building. As long as they're escorted, we're good to go. So
I had a question too for clarification. The cash bar. So if I go over there, they'll give me money or what?
no, that means they take cash.
Oh.
Well, they take credit too. So,
Okay, you want to make sure. Yeah, because
but
I remember a while back I heard that thing about the comments, the kids to the restaurant. Like, that's different. But yeah, it was the VFW, and they're real good. 'Cause I know one time we had an event here, 8 years ago, more or less, and they let us use their little, like a little dance hall for free. And we had a little Santa Christmas party, and it was
yeah.
pretty neat for kids with disabilities, kiddos, not special needs kids, but kids with disabilities. I don't know where that special needs crap came in.
Well, I mean, again, and it's just another, these PC generation. I'm sorry, I go there, but I mean, somebody don't want to be called disabled, so they come up with a different term. Well, at one point they came up with the terminology special needs, right? So this was several years ago when they first started to do that. George, I did a T-shirt. It's called "We All Have Special Needs."
Yeah, we all do have special needs. And then,
You know,
and the thing, one of my arguments against that word or that term is when is the special needs transition to accommodations? So like for myself, am I an adult with special needs? No, I have needs that are specialized for me because of my
Right.
disability, but it's not special, right?
right?
Well, maybe if I want a pizza with extra cheese, okay, that's a special. But what I'm saying is, and we talked about this, Mr. Davis, about the labeling.
Right. I
You have to
mean,
label
I
people.
mean, I mean, if you want to be in that, thing, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's your thing, it's your life. Your opinion, whatever, right? But I mean, I grew up during a time where, like, when they used to say back in the elementary school, whatever, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, right?
Yeah.
So I don't care. Call me blind, call me disabled, call me,
Yeah, whatever.
whatever. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
And
you know,
and going back to the day, excuse me, and I have allergies today, folks. So the thing is, terms, words, labels, right? So they change or morph over time. For example, maybe back in the I don't know if you remember this, Mr. Davis, in the 70s and 80s, it was proper to say retarded. That was a known word. Now that word retarded is whoa, what are you doing? What are you saying?
right,
And I know people that are elderly that still use that word retarded, and I'm like, ooh, that's not a good word. That's a cringe word. Or like handicap, right? They'll say handicap, and some people are offended, some people aren't. But at the end of the day, like Mr. Davis says, don't call me, call me whatever you want, but just don't call me late for lunch or dinner or breakfast. I don't give a care. But
and again, I mean, because of the way the term was used for so many decades, if you want to go there, right? I mean, we just use the word retarded when we see one of our friends or family members or something doing something crazy, right? I mean, it's crazy, but we just say, man, that fool retarded, right?
Yeah.
We don't mean that he's literally, we're not doing it as a slur, whatever. It's just, he's just doing something different, right? It's, something that's out of the norm. It's,
it's funny you're saying that, Mr. Davis. God, it's so weird that you're actually saying that. And then pointing to the screen, folks who are watching me, who are blind. Last night on YouTube, that's my primary source of entertainment. I really don't watch TV that much like I used to. This is comedian Carlos Mencias. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Not really. I think I might have heard the name, but I don't think
Excuse me. So Carlos Mencias, last night he was talking, and it's one of the podcasts or shows I watch on YouTube, DJ Vlad, and they're talking about the word, how you just said it, Mr. Davis. Words are used in a negative way, like the N-word. They're talking about that specifically. like us, like growing up and my friends, they would say, "Hey, what's up?" And it wasn't a term of being negative. It was a term of, like comadre, like friends. What's up? It's like saying, "What's up, bro?" Right? It wasn't meant in a negative way, where someone that uses it in a negative way, like, "Oh, look at that N word," because they want to be negative. So the same thing with retarded, right? The retarded is not really meant to be where you could say someone's retarded, but because they don't know what that word really means, right? It could be negative, or it could be to describe someone. Not going back to what I said, back in the 70s and 80s, that word was really meant. It was clinically meant to describe someone. Now it's changed. Right now, it's intellectually disabled or intellectually whatever. But
Right.
I think once we start incorporating those words into our everyday language, where it's just a normal thing to say, not a negative thing, like the blind guy or that damn blind guy. See how it changes, right? Or George, he's a cool, but the thing is, it's just we have to understand how to use those words in a good way, in a positive way, and not to be so negative, right?
Well,
So,
the sad part is, myself personally, right? I'm not a PC correct person, right?
mm-hmm.
And I apologize for that for those who it may offend, okay? But I've found myself now having to filter myself, right? So, if I'm hanging out with my people, whatever, we just hanging out, chilling, whatever, doing whatever, I can be free. I can just do what I want to do. But when I'm out and about and I'm doing, especially, Blind United business, right?
Yes.
Now I'm forced to be politically correct, right?
Okay.
Because I'm operating in that environment where there's a lot of people that, take offense to certain terminology, right? Even though I don't, but because they are, I have to, bow down to that. So right quick before I move on, Brother Pedro he's listening in. He's down in the comments. And
Hey, what's up, Mr. Pritchard? How you doing? How can I know you, man?
and then Thomas, just so you know, my brother, Soundscape was the original. Voice Vista is Soundscape on steroids. So it's the second generation of Soundscape. So again, it's built upon the Soundscape platform. It just it's basically the same thing, but with a bunch more features.
Well, Mr. David, wasn't there another one? I forgot the name right now. I'm in blank. It was back like in the mid 2000, maybe 2010. It was a real, and a lot of blind individuals use that to navigate. Back in
You know
the
what?
early
I
days.
remember, George, I just went to training center at 11. So it might have
Okay.
been something. I just wasn't really aware of a lot of that stuff then. Hell, I didn't even have a cell phone back then, dog. Okay.
True.
So I mean, but there were some other things that I got with, when I first got out of training center that have since fallen by the wayside, so, but now.
Remember that NFB reader or the NFB?
Yeah, KNFB reader.
Yeah,
It's
I was
still
about
out there.
$100 for that back in the early days. Now it's not existent, or if it is.
No, it
anyway.
still is. It's still there. It's still the NFB thing. But
Okay.
just a little back history on that. Criswell, okay, he worked in collaboration with NFB. I think it was more about NFB put up the money.
Criswell? The same
Yeah,
thing, right?
Criswell. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Criswell. So they got into a joint development thing, and I think it was more about NFB funded it and Criswell developed it, the KNFB reader for the app for the phone, right?
Okay.
And then after a period of time, NFB bought Criswell out.
It's not Criswell. It's not Griswold. Not the National Lampoon of K-Folk. So make sure.
Right. Criswell. Yeah. I believe
And
that's how you say it.
and the thing about that, Mr. Davis, is that what do you use to scan your stuff? Criswell, right, or Open Book?
No, I'm being honest. I use my open book. I do most of my stuff on my computer.
Okay.
I mean, I hear you guys say all the time, well, open book hasn't been updated in over a decade. Well, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
As long as it works.
As long as it works. I mean, I've been using it now since 11.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And, since I've met you and stuff like that, I mean, I understand that it when you save a document, it's saved in a different format that if you send it to somebody, they can't read it unless they have open book, right? But through my association with you and picking up your little tips and tricks, I know now that once I take and save that document, I just copy it all out, cut it, drop it into a notepad, take all of that crazy formatting out of it, copy it and cut it out of there and paste it back in the Word document. Now I can send it out and people can read it.
I'm glad you're saying this, Mr. Davis, for those who are sighted or have family members that are blind or visually impaired. What Mr. Davis just described is techniques that we could use to do what anybody else can now. It might take a few more steps, right? I grant it. But the point is, we could do it, right? Scan a document, fill out a document, create a document, whatever it is. So with, going back to, the theme of the show is technology, right?
Right.
And technology allows us to do those stuff, to work, like Mr. Davis, to do the show. We're both blind, folks. And I'm on camera and Mrs. Davis isn't. But the point is, we're on the show. And I always tell people who listen to me, if I could do it, you could do it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not special. I'm not, just like Mr. Davis says, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and
Well, how about this one? We're talking about hooking up with Abel the other day, right? So Abel's buddy that was there with him, they were taking pictures, right, of the group. And Pedro said, well, airdrop it to me. That way I don't lose any of the, what do they call it? The clarity or whatever.
Yeah.
So he didn't know how to do that. So he's sitting there trying to do it. And finally Brittany says, give me your phone.
Oh, that's funny.
Brittany took the phone and got it to it and pointed it out. Okay, right there. Just tap right there. And once he got it figured out, okay, cool. And then he just started, because they took like 8-9 photos. So they shipped them all over, airdropped them all over to Pedro.
I worry about sighted people sometimes, right?
But I mean, again, we can do most of it. We just have to do it a different way.
Yeah.
That's all.
All we do is we adapt to the changes. For example, shaving or getting ready for work, or the simple things in life, right? We just do the different techniques to get, like sweeping, cleaning our restrooms, whatever, right? So it's just a technique, folks, that we learn over time, and might not be the best, but hey, the best way we could do, right?
Right. And 9 times out of 10, when I do the sweep thing, just so people understand, we sweep in like a grid pattern. You know what I'm saying? So we're sweeping.
Well, hold on, Mr. J. We bought when was it? It's been like a year. We bought a Eureka broom, like a vacuum broom kind of deal, like a tile.
Yeah.
Ooh, folks. For blind people, Mr. Davis, I recommend that because that thing is beautiful.
Right, it sucks it up as you're sweeping it, right?
Well, it's like a vacuum, but
right.
It's for tile, so it has the brushes are a little bit longer. And,
okay, so it's not shaped like an actual broom, because I've seen some that are shaped like an actual broom.
Oh no, it's like a little vacuum, but that thing is, man, that works great. And the way we check it, the way I do it, I think Miss Carol was kind of mentioning it with my feet. Right, if I go and touch it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of dusty. Then I go and vacuum it. So it's kind of weird how we do, right? How we adapt to stuff. We touch it with it, or like me, to make sure the lamp is on. I touch the bulb to see if it's hot.
Right.
So it's just stuff that we learn.
Your app will tell you if the light is on, right, George?
The what?
Was it? I think it's
CNAI
and Envision both have that feature, I believe.
But see, I have just to let you know, folks. I have a more advanced Siri on my phone, and what my Siri is I just say, "Hey, babe, what time is it?" See, and there it goes. That's how quick my series is.
Well, you need to leave Miss Lulu alone. She's resting right now. So.
Yeah, she worked overnight. My wife. She didn't want to sleep. That's why I'm doing the broadcast in the home studio we have here, the home office.
Right.
Little camera here. But the thing with that was going back to technology, Mr. Davis, is that with this new iPhone stuff, the only bad thing about it that's the only bad thing about it. That if you have a 15 Pro and up, you're able to take advantage of that new Apple intelligence. Or someone like my poor self, I have the 12, I won't be able to use it, so I'm going to. They're forcing me to upgrade to, at least to the 15 Pro. So I know you have the 15 Pro yourself, right, Mr. Davis? So he's probably busy.
Somebody said you when he was talking to the other stuff earlier, George, was it Blind Square? Is that the one you were speaking
That's
of?
the one. That's the one, folks. Thank you, whoever said that. That's it. Blind Square. Yeah. But I think that was free at first, and then it went, but I think it's or subscription based. But yeah, Blind Square. A lot of people that I knew were using that back in the day.
Right,
And now
right.
there's those are dime a dozen now, a dime a dozen because of what? They know
Right,
that there's a need.
right. I mean, again, I joke with Pedro all the time about it, but he bought one of the remote vacuums.
Yeah, I heard a little
Just a
good too.
robotic vacuum. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't created for us, right? Because it was actually created for lazy people.
Yep.
But it works. I mean, and for us, I mean, it helps because it's just going to work the whole floor in a grid pattern, and it's going to do it. It's going to get everything up off the floor. I mean, and then when it's done, it goes back to its dock and parks, and it's sitting there recharging.
And hopefully one day we'll have that technology for the cars, right? To jump in the car, take it somewhere, and come back home.
Well, I mean, again, don't get me wrong, man. Waymo is working. Waymo is working. It's out there. I mean, they're using it every day. I mean, Pedro and Monica, they've been out a few times in it, right?
See, the only bad thing about that is here in El Paso, I think you told me Austin has it, right?
Well, Austin has the Waymo car, but between what is it? I know somewhere around Dallas, one of them highways up and through there. They actually have the Waymo hardware, software, whatever we want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's trucks. So you in Texas, George, you literally have semi trucks running up and down the highway.
Yep, I heard about that. Yes, sir.
Now don't get me wrong, because it's such a big vehicle, the driver's sitting there just in case, right? But bottom line, they're logging miles. And I guess once they get to a certain point, they've logged enough miles, then they're finally going to get approved to let them things work by themselves.
And you know what the bad thing about that, Mr. Davis, is taking away those jobs, right?
Yes, it is.
When I said about AI and Taco Bell, because I don't know if some people know this, at one point McDonald's was using the call center for the drive-thru. I don't know if you knew that or not, but so with this introduction of AI in the drive-thru, where they will take your order, and when I first heard it, I'm like, is that just going to be for the when they say, well, welcome to Taco Bell, right? When she says, how can I take your order? Or me and my wife are like, okay. And then, it was just, responsive to what we said. But I was just curious, if we change the order, what happens? Like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I want number 4 instead of number 5. Will they have the intelligence to switch it?
Well, you have to try that out next time. I'd rather have that than the one that Wendy's had where it was working an algorithm and it was adjusting the prices depending on how busy it was. You know what I'm saying? The busier it was, the more expensive the burgers got.
Convenient, right?
Well, I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's I mean, again, okay, so now you want me to come during off hours? I gotta petition my boss to let me have a different lunch hour, right? Because you decided to run your prices up.
Mr. David, I had an experience one time, and I've seen this on Facebook twice already. I just wonder what your take on this. So back in the day, before I got married, I lived in apartments next to a Wendy's, and that would be my go-to if I didn't have anything else, right? And so one day I went, and there was 8 or 9. They were about to close. Yeah, they were about to close. So the lobby was closed, and only the drive-thru was open. So guess what? I walked up to the drive-thru window. I go, hey, ma'am. Can I have something? She says, well, sir, we can't serve you. You have to be in the vehicle. I go, yeah, but I'm blind. I can't. I'm just living in this apartment right here. And she said, no, we can't serve you. I'm like, oh, no, there's no cars, ma'am. So I go, can I talk to your manager, please? And at the end of the day, they provide a service, but to me, like, what's the big deal of not me if I'm not in the car and I'm willing to pay for the products?
That part.
I understand it's a drive to, but someone like myself, I don't drive.
Well,
So what am I supposed to do? Get a taxi? It doesn't make sense sometimes.
And the neighborhood I grew up in, they close the lobbies early.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is, open. So sometimes the cars do have to fight with the people
I hear you.
to get to the window, but I mean, they don't deny us, right? I mean, so it is what it is. I mean, again, it's, if I'm a business, even their manager, franchise owner, whatever the case, you know what? I ain't turning not their dollar down,
Nope.
right?
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna do it because again, I'm in business to sell hamburgers. What I look like denying somebody a hamburger?
And especially nowadays, I don't know if you heard this, that McDonald's has been losing sales. That's why they came up with that new $5 meal.
Well,
And,
everybody's got a $5 meal.
Yeah, but I'm saying McDonald's didn't have one. I don't know if you didn't know that. See, like Wendy's and I think Carl's Jr. But McDonald's didn't have one. But the point is, now they're going out because they're losing money. But I think that a lot has to do with customer service, Mr. James. I'm kind of touching what you said right now.
Well, I mean, it's also the fact that they're trying to blame the fact that they're being forced to pay, a proper living wage for a minimum wage, right? I mean, especially here in California, fast food workers get $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Now,
so I'm going to make a comment here, folks. So it's not reflective of Blind United. So make sure a little caveat there.
That's why we played the disclosure in the beginning, George.
Oh, we didn't do it today. That's why. Well, we did, but nobody
heard
live.
it. Okay, so thank you for that then.
Yeah. But to understand that, again, to take and give, I'll say that. So when you're paying someone $20 an hour, don't be surprised when the hamburger goes up $4 or $5. So in other words, to me, I understand paying $20 an hour. I get that, but when that merchant has to go, you know what? I'm paying you $20. I have to increase my prices. So after a while, it kind of evens back up again, right? Where it was before. And to me, that's just a vicious cycle. Because there's no way, folks. If anyone's ever been in business, and I was back in the day for a few years, that's your biggest overhead is labor, right? Because there's labor, plus you have to pay the taxes to that labor. You have to pay the FICA, match the FICA. So there's a cost to that, But I understand there has to be a living wage. I get that. But at the other end, we have to understand that the merchant or the owner will pass the expense to us again, somehow, right?
Right.
Like a burrito might be $8 now. Like, damn, that's a lot of money for a burrito, but what can we do, right? So I just think that that particular given the going back and forth it's a vicious cycle, folks, because I know people have to make money. And I'm just surprised that the federal income tax or federal minimum wage is still at $7. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, again, I mean, I hate to go here, but it gets to be political. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but at the same time, why should we, the taxpayers, right, subsidize McDonald's or even Walmart, right? Mm-hmm. And so people that may not know what I'm talking about, I hope most people understand what I'm saying. If you work for these companies, right, you don't make a living wage. So therefore you qualify for SNAP, right? Get your food stamps, right? Mm-hmm. And then you also qualify for, Medicaid or whatever the case may be. Well, taxpayers pay for that. Mm-hmm. While the stockholders from McDonald's or Walmart or whoever, they sitting there making millions and millions of dollars in profits, while their company needs to be subsidized. Because they don't want to pay their employees a living
Exactly.
wage.
Exactly.
They don't want to provide insurance for the employees, all this kind of stuff. So, and all that stuff is because, I mean, you know, they're lobbying. They're there. They're walking them halls of Congress. So, you know, I mean, I hate to go here. I really do. But the same thing they were doing with Justice Thomas and all of that, you know, I mean, buying him $250,000 motorhomes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, bottom line, you know, so they get a congressman or a senator and they'll donate to the campaign, or they'll write a book. Don't worry about it. It could be trash. I'll buy 100,000 copies of it, right? Just to kind of filter the money that way. You know, they do all kind of slick stuff to put money in the pockets of our lawmakers so that they'll vote on laws to go their way.
It's funny that a lot of times folks go into Congress, either the Senate or or the House, and they walk away millionaires. You know, it's kind of fun. Like, that's kind of weird, but we won't go there. But
It is. So anyway, it's a crazy world we live in. Man, this hour went fast, George.
This is already, sorry. Whoa, sorry. 11 o'clock. There you go.
Yeah, man, it's already that time. But I mean, that's how it is when we get good conversation going. I didn't even get to play my second clip. That's all good. I'll save it for tomorrow. It has to do with right quick. Puffy got locked up. You know about that, right?
You know what, Mr. Davis, the racketeering charge and the what was the other charge?
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking. That will come back and bite you eventually. Because I mean, yeah, you have money, but at the end of it's like the other gentleman, or I shouldn't call him a gentleman, that monster. Is it Epstein or Epstein, the one that had the kids and whatnot? I forgot. I'm saying his name incorrectly, but with P. Diddy, he couldn't serve years. I guarantee. Because think about this: federal courts or prosecution is 90%.
Well, they say he can get life,
and I think the minimum, if he gets off easy, the minimum is 15 years minimum.
Right, but he could do life. He could definitely do life for this.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the crazy part for me, right? Let me show you how the little orange guy is getting favoritism, right? When he walked into the courts, he was already ready. He knew what was going to happen. He was in Manhattan waiting on the indictment to come down, right?
Yes.
He had already gathered up all his families, including his passports, right? And was putting up a $50 million bond.
Yes.
And they would not let him out.
Nope. That tells you a lot right there.
Look at what they're doing to Trump.
You know, it's the funny part. The funny part about this. Well, I shouldn't say funny part about this, but when you hear it, when the FBI, or actually I think it was a Homeland Security Investigation Unit, they when they did a raid on his Miami home and his Los Angeles home, altogether, folks, there's nearly 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant.
Yeah.
1,000 bottles.
Yeah.
Wow,
anyway,
that's one freak off. That's for sure.
Stay tuned tomorrow, and we will play that one tomorrow for sure. So,
okay.
On that note, man, I appreciate it. Sorry for all of the technical difficulties in the beginning. If anybody missed it, we really didn't talk about a whole lot. By the time we got, only thing you missed was our intro stuff. But
yeah, and me hitting my head on the mic.
So. Yeah, that part too. That I'm quite sure people would have enjoyed that. But
and I want to, before we leave, I came up with a saying, Mr. Davis. See what you think. And I want to put this on my emails. If I don't mess this up, I believe it's let me see if I can just create. You don't have. I'm gonna mess this up. It's good when you write it, but you try to regurgitate.
You're supposed to write it down when you think of it, George.
No, I did write it down. That's what I'm saying. In my head, I wrote it down in my documents. But anyways, it goes like this. Basically, you don't have to have the ability to walk to dance. You don't have to have the ability to see to have vision. You don't have to have the ability to think to have a dream, and you don't have to be in the present to live forever. So hope people like that.
Okay. I mean, it's what we call it, digesting.
Yeah.
I'm
And by the way,
digesting.
I'm glad you can't hear, but my dog over here, she's snoring. So hope you can't hear that. I kept wondering, what the hell is that noise? That's my dog snoring.
No, we can't hear it. Who is that? The old man?
No, he's just my little Sophie. She's over here next to me. She lives
Okay.
next to my chair.
Okay.
And no, the old man's over there. He's in his cushy bed, so he's good.
All right. Well, on that note, I hope everybody has a fabulous Wednesday. Again,
Whataburger
please.
Wednesday. Oh, it's Hump Day. Don't forget to hump those nearest to you, folks.
Well, no, please only hump the ones you love. Not
No water beds either.
Why? What you got against waterbeds?
Nothing.
Well, you knew I was going to react to that, right?
Water beds, folks. Yeah.
So what George is referring to, folks, I'm old school all the way. I have been sleeping in a waterbed since 1975.
Wow, almost 50 years. Wow, it's amazing.
And I'm still sleeping on a waterbed. So I love my waterbed.
Well, especially you kind of to your benefit, Mr. David, because the earthquakes, you really don't feel it.
Well, that's true, but waterbeds give you a level of comfort that all of these foam mattress manufacturers are trying to reach.
True.
You know, they're trying to find alternative ways for the mattress to fully contour to your body, as well as provide support to your whole body, right?
Okay.
So a waterbed does that. I mean, and now, you know, with all these new memory foam beds, I mean, come on, man. You know, I was just talking about this the other day. The new purple mattress, you know, is what, $3,000?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guess how much my mattress costs?
How much?
$100.
Really?
$100.
Okay, there you go. That's old school, Mr. Davis.
Might put about, I don't know, $15, $20 worth of water in it, but
just curiosity. I bet you somebody's asking in their head, how the water, do you change it out or you leave it in there? How does that work out?
no, you have water conditioners that you can buy to put in there. But you know, I've been doing this so long. I mean, the water conditioner is cool if you want to go that route, but all you got to do is the smaller bottle of bleach. You know, they sell the gallons, and then they have the quarts or whatever it is.
Laundromat kind of small one.
Yeah. I get those. I just pour a bottle of bleach in there.
Okay, it kills the germs.
Right. Well, it's just to kill the algae. You don't want the algae to start growing in there. So that's what it's all about. So, I mean, I'm not going to drink it anymore, right? So it is what it is, you know. And then when I dump the bed, you know, I just hook up a hose to it and drain it out into the front yard. So I water my grass with it.
There you go. So two birds with one stone, Mr. Davis.
You know, whenever I need to drain it and change it out, but that's not very often. So anyway, all that being said, again, I appreciate everybody for coming in. Don't forget to come in and hang out with us tonight. 5 o'clock for the AI group, 7 o'clock for the iPhone group. I promise you, you're going to learn something.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Something you can use. Something you can use every day. So come on out, check us out, Brother George. I appreciate you. Brittany, don't know what happened to you, sweetie. I hope everything's okay. Pedro, my boy Thomas, everybody.
And Kate, thank you, Kate, for watching.
Kate, everybody, I appreciate y'all.
Monica, she was on board too. So.
Oh, I didn't see Monica down there, but
She's
okay.
Hey, on my end, yeah. So.
Hey, Monica. But again, I thank everybody for coming, checking us out, and hanging out with us. And we will be back tomorrow. I don't know. You gonna be able to join me tomorrow, George? Or you got stuff to do?
Pending. Hopefully, I can come on. I know for sure Friday I will, but tomorrow I have something pending, so hopefully I'll come on and give you guys a hard time.
Well, we appreciate it every time you give us a hard time.
That's right, and it goes fast too. So yeah,
that's part. So all right, everybody have a great day, and we will see you next one.